Welcome to the Noah Burra Advice YouTube channel. If you want to get on a call with me and be featured on this channel or in private, the link is in the description. Thank you.
Oh, so I had joined this $29 thing that this Rene Lacade guy does, and I didn't understand any of it, and I sort of just kind of jumped into this. But I was interested in starting like my own social media company, but it seems like what they're offering is sort of more like it seems like there's something to pay for every couple of minutes. Like they want first it was like $30, then they want 500, then they want like continuing money, and then they want like 10,000 to join their circle, etc. But they claim that you make all this money, right? But then it's like, do you really make the money, or does only that guy make the money? And so he had described this program. I don't know if you can see it. Some type of Facebook ads that you can run. And he showed us how to do one ad, but I don't understand any of it. And that's where I needed the help. It's like,
so what kind of terminology are they using? Are they using SMMA? Are they using dropshipping, ecom, Shopify? Like what?
They're using SMMA and they're using Facebook ads. And for some reason, I made a mock ad myself to see how it would run, and then it kept charging me, and I didn't understand it, so then I stopped it. Facebook has it restricted right now because I turned off the little payment thing, but I know it said that they would do that if I turned off the payment thing.
And what are you running what are you running ads for right now? Like you said that you started a Facebook ad. What does the Facebook ad say?
I just wanted to see how it worked.
Okay, got
it. I probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
It wasn't even an ad for anything, to be honest. It was just like whatever logo that they had.
Right.
And then I just put my name on it. And then I don't know I guess it says it reached 118, but I don't know what the 118 is, because it says like account center that's at least saw your ad once, but then when you go to the engagements, it only shows one and the link clicks one. So I don't know how it got 118 with one person.
Right. All right. Let's take Facebook ads aside, because I feel like you just like head jumped into something that is like super duper hard to understand, and you're just like in all of it, like what the fuck is going on? Which I can definitely I can sense that here. You're just like, how does this make money? Where are the people going to? Who's paying me? Like, who even pays for the ads? Like, you just have like very, very intro level beginner questions. So let's take a step back. What is your goal?
I want to start a media company myself, like a marketing media company. Sort of trying to figure out where I should start. But you seem to have a lot of information, and I mean, even if I had to pay for it, like I can see you already doing it. These people are claiming they're doing it, but I can't find any information anywhere about it other than the guy selling the various stuff, but not actual success stories and not actually people who are making money other than outside of what they're selling.
Right. So what does your marketing company do? Like, can you just explain to me the type of service that you're trying to provide?
Well, I was trying to get into like digital social media style marketing, like basically what they're saying they do, but I don't want to endlessly have to pay them to help coach me and like do this and that.
Right.
Like, I understand there's some type of maintenance cost with this type of thing, but like if they claim you can do it without any startup costs, that has to be true. But so far they want another $500, another $500,
yeah,
another $1,000, etc. So it doesn't sound like it's no money. It sounds like, here's a bunch of hard stuff that's difficult to understand. We'll help you understand it. All you got to do is keep paying us.
Yeah. So well, I mean, I'll tell you straight up right now. Like, what is your background? Like, what do you do for work right now?
I work at two jobs. I work at Olive Garden and at a restaurant downtown.
Okay, so going from that world where like you're kind of working as an employee, you're just showing up to work, you get your paycheck, yada yada. Like going from that into running an online, remote digital marketing agency is fucking hard, dude.
I know. Life is a struggle because I have to grind for everything I have. Like, yes. I used to live in my car and stuff, so I'm always looking for the next way to make it better. You know what I'm saying?
So I can tell you a little bit about my story, because I don't know how much you actually know, but before I start giving my pointers, I kind of want you to understand what I've been through. So up until this point, I've had 2 marketing agencies, you know, kind of similar to what you're explaining to me, like running ads for other people, creating ads for other people, like other companies, whatnot. My first agency I started when I was 15 years old. I'm 23 now. And it didn't start making me money until I was 17. So it took me about 2 years of, you know, learning how to run a Facebook ad, learning how to make a website, how to make a funnel. And I didn't have any money for mentorship or anything like that. So I was just learning from like YouTube videos, basically probably what you're doing right now. And obviously I was young and dumb. So it took me a long time to really figure it out. And then eventually I finally did get a mentor. And, you know, he kind of told me like, okay, you're going to have an e-commerce agency. You're going to help e-commerce stores, drop shippers, run Facebook ads for their store to make money. And then you're basically just going to take a cut. Okay, so this is like the business that my mentor at the time structured me with. About 3 months after that, so this is like when I was 17, so I've already been in the game for like 2 years, 2.5 years at this point. That month, I made my first $1,000 online, right? So it was a 2-year process to just make my first $1,000. And out of those 2 years, I would say that probably 7 or 8 of them were like straight full-time. Like I dropped out of school when I was 16. So, you know, between, you know, being halfway through 16 and being 17, I left school, so I was full-time figuring this out. Okay, and then 1 month after that, I had my first $3,000 month. Okay, so I went from 0, 1,000, 3K, so now I'm like 2 years in, 2.5 years in, made 3K. 6 months after that, you know, it was like 3, 5, 7, 10, 14. I made 14 grand in 1 month when I was 17 years old. This was early 2018. I finally figured it the fuck out. Since then, like 2018, I made a total of like 200 something grand. 2019 was like 360 or 380, somewhere in that range. 2020 was like 5 to 600. I think it was like 560. And this is like straight profit. The year of 2020, I did $2 million in revenue with my companies. So the 500, 600K was straight profit. But 2020 is 5 years from the point I started. All right, and I want to put emphasis on that. And another thing that I would emphasize is like that's full time. I was coming from like a very fresh mind, right? Like you've been in the real world for a lot longer than me. Like, you know, you're older, you've been working. Like I've never even had a real job because by the time I turned 18, I was already making 20K a month. So you have a lot of this like pre kind of learned things. Like in order to get into this world, you're gonna have to unlearn a lot of the things that you've learned up until this point.
What would you say is a good place for me to start? Because I really want to have my own company. Like I worked for all these people for so long, and it's like you see the ads where they're like, you'll show up for your boss at 9, but not yourself. Like I'm trying to get up out of this like continuous slavery into like my own thing. And you're like a celebrity, so like for you to have even like made this happen is amazing to me. I kind of thought it was fake until I got the message. So I'm like really like privileged to get this call. I very much am grateful for it because I know this is like, you know, I mean, I would be willing to pay for future calls too, but it's for like somebody who knows what they're talking about, not somebody trying to sell me some type of fake gimmick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about the money. The paid calls, like I do have an option for like private calls. Like pretty much that money is just there for my boy Brendan over here who like runs all my camera shit. You know, so that just goes towards like paying him and shit like that. But you know, when I was 15 and 16 and struggling and fucking scratching at the walls and trying to figure this shit out, I had people get on calls with me, you know, and I had the benefit of being, you know, 15 years old, 16 years old. Like most people out there that are successful, they love to help out, especially younger guys. Because look at what we can sprout into, right? Like by the time I'm 20 years old, I have all this potential because I'm so young and people were so happy to help me. So I don't mind getting on calls and helping people out if I feel like they can be helped. And that's why, because people help me in the same way. Like, dude, I've been on calls with people, especially when I was just starting out, where it's like, why the fuck are you even talking to me? Like, clearly you have better things to do with your time, and every time it's like, oh, because I was young and they want to see me win and this and that. So I'm more than happy to give back. But here's the best way for you to start. the best way for you to start is to have the expectation that this is going to be a very long process, a very long like transitional process from you being who you are today into the person who you can imagine yourself being, right? Running a remote business, being full-time on your own business, not having a boss, you know, work, whether it's with a marketing agency, e-com, however you decide to do it, it's going to be a long process. So have that expectation. And from what I can tell you, dude, it's fucking awesome. Like, I couldn't imagine needing to go to work or like wake up at a certain time or having a boss. And I'm very grateful that I never had to do that. And it's worth it 100%. Even if it takes you 5 to 10 years to get to where I'm at right now, it's worth it. Right? And
yeah,
I was going to say another thing to keep in mind is you have 2 other jobs, dude. I was full-time for a long time, and I was also very young. Like, you know, my rent was covered. I was being fed by my parents, thank God, right? Like, I just had all the benefits of being young, nothing to lose, and, you know, you don't have those luxuries. So I personally can't speak to, like, what it's going to look like for you to do this. But, you know, I can just set the expectations. Like, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. There's a lot that you need to learn to get from here to, you know, getting your first client, right? Because I'm assuming that that's the terminology they're using, like get clients, make money, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm a very visual learner too, so I got to kind of sort of see stuff.
Yeah. And another thing that I would say is I would highly, highly, highly recommend from this point on, do not invest in paid education until you have fully submerged yourself in somebody's free information. And if they don't have free information out there, there's no reason to get their paid information. Like what I mean by this is like if you know, found this guy, what was his name that you said? It was like Reese or something?
Rene Lacade.
Okay, so you found this guy, Rene. I would recommend go to his YouTube channel, go to his Instagram, go to his TikTok, follow all of his social medias, and watch and study every fucking word that comes out of that guy's mouth for the last 2 years. And don't pay him any money until you fully understand everything that he's about. And okay. any like online coach, any agency, online coach, any of that thing, like they should have plenty of free content out there for you to learn. And I mean, dude, I've spent tons of money on mentorships, courses, and all that stuff. And realistically, the information you learn in a course, you can find for free out there. It's just a matter of how you value it. And once you find a guy that, you know, you resonate with him, you like their vibe, you like the advice they give, you like the business model they preach, you like the mindset that they preach. You know, some people are going to be like, you know, more on the honest side, more on the aggressive side. Some people are going to be very results driven or very hype driven. Like everybody has their own style. Once you find one you really fuck with and you want to buy their course and you got the extra money laying around, it's almost always going to be a great investment to buy a course, mentorship, whatever. Just make sure you're consuming their paid content. Like, don't force yourself to pay for their paid content if you can't even watch their free content, right? Yeah. So that's number one. So what I would do if I were you is I'd probably spend every waking hour watching people on YouTube. Doesn't have to be Rene. It could be Rene. It could be a few other people, and just really try to get a mental understanding of what the fuck is going on here. Like, there's a lot of moving parts with an agency. You know, like you have getting, you know, figuring out what service you're going to offer. Are you going to do Facebook ads for car dealerships? Are you going to do, you know, TikTok ads for e-commerce? Are you going to do TikTok shop for e-commerce? Like, there's so many different niches. So you got to figure out what service you're even going to offer. And then the next thing you got to do is you got to test out that service. You got to find, you know, a car dealership, or you got to find an e-commerce store that's going to allow you to test this out and actually prove that it works.